Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel Vanda V Helen. For those who are new here, hi, my name is Veronica and on weekly basis I am sharing with you some crochet tutorials. Today we are going to make this beautiful chicken. This pattern is completely no sew, but of course before we start don't forget to hit that subscribe button so then you can keep up with all of my upcoming tutorials. Now let's grab your hooks and let's start. Okay, so what we are going to need is we are going to need our plush yarn, so I'm concretely using Himalaya velvet. Then we are going to need our 5mm hook. Afterwards, scissors, stitch marker and needle at the end for the embroidery. And also what I am using is a stitch counter because I am always forgetting at which row I am currently. And of course some stuffing so then we can fill our toy. So now we can start. Okay, so we are going to first start with the hands. And so we are going to make a magic ring. So grab your hook, grab your yarn around the two fingers, grab your hook. Under the first one, grab the second one, pull the yarn through, and this is our magic ring. And actually, as this is velvet yarn, which can be very quickly destroyed, I always try to make a magic ring before I will do any stitches there as small as possible. Okay, so then it's easier to close it afterwards. Okay, so now I will make 6 single crochet into the magic ring. So this is the first. Second. Third, fourth, 5 and 6. Now I'm going to close the magic ring. Okay, good. And now actually from row 2 to row 5 we are going to make just simple single crochet, nothing else. We are not going to increase, decrease, simple time all the way, only 6 times single crochet. What I would like to highlight here is I am going to, as of the next row, I am going to grabbing my yarn under, which means like this, okay? And I am just going to always count, so, and it will be always 6 single crochet, so this is 2, the last 3, 4, 5, and 6, and this was my row 2, and I am going to repeat it the same way till the row 5, and at the end we are going to just simple fasten off. I will meet you there. Okay, so now I am done with my hand. So actually here we are going to fasten off, and this one we can hide in the inside. So, and here it depends, so actually because you can make the bird 2 types, so you will have it as a no sew pattern, so while you are crocheting you will actually attach the hands, or you will crochet it and afterwards you will attach the hands. It depends on the personal preferences. I am going to be attaching the hands while I am crocheting because I wanted to show you how you can do it. So that's why I don't need to, let's say, keep here a long tail. It needs to be very, very short. But in case you want to sew the hand afterwards, I definitely recommend to leave a longer tail, so then you have a yarn to sew in. So I am keeping my tail shorter. Now I am just fastening off, okay, like this. And actually what I am also going to do is, this was my first stitch, or let's say the last stitch. In the next stitch I am just grabbing my yarn from the inside out and pulling the yarn here. So then we don't have anymore this kind of bump. I am just pulling tightly, so then we can have an even, let's say, even visual. I am going to hide it here, as we are going to actually attach it afterwards to the bird. So this is basically my first hand or wing, or how to call it, and you need to make of course 2 of them. Okay, so for the second one we are going to repeat again the same stitches, so simple, just all the time single crochet. As a first thing we are going to start with our magic ring. So I am going to grab my yarn, turn it around my fingers, Now grabbing my hook, going under the first one and grabbing the second one. Now grabbing the yarn that I have here, pulling through, and this is my magic ring. And actually, as this is velvet yarn, what I am always like to do is, especially for the magic ring, I will try to close it as close as possible, but of course you still need to leave some space there because we are going to make a single crochet there. But why I'm a little bit closing it, because as it is velvet, it is very easily to let's say to destroy the yarn. So therefore I always prefer to make the hole already as, let's say, minimum as possible. And now I am going to place 8 single crochet in the magic ring. So I am starting with my first one, but I am also marking it because otherwise, as we are crocheting in the as we are crocheting in the loop, of course it's always important to know where is your first stitch. So this is my first, second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Okay, now I have 8 stitches. I am closing my hole very carefully. Good. So this is my row number 1 with 8 stitches together. Now let's continue with the row 2. In the row 2, we are going to place increases in each of the stitch. So we are going to place 2 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so I am starting with my first one, and as of now I will be doing yarn under. What does it mean? I am not grabbing the yarn like this, but I am grabbing the yarn like this for both of the times. The benefit of it for amigurumi or plushies is that then the stitches are tighter, so then your filling is not, let's say, visible through. This was my first stitch and the second stitch, so this is my first increase, and I am going to continue all the way through till the end, and I will have at the end 16 stitches together. Now in the row 3 we are going to make 1 increase and 1 single crochet. So I am starting with my increase, so again placing 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. This was my first. Now second, voila, and always yarn under, single crochet in the next one. And again I am going to repeat, so 1 increase, which means 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, first and second, and into the next stitch it will be 1 single crochet, and you are going to continue all the way through till the end. Now we are starting with the row 4. Now we have altogether already 24 stitches. Now we are going to increase one more time. So we are going to make 1 increase, and then into the next 2 stitches we are going to make 1 single crochet. So in my first stitch I am going to increase. So this is my first and second single crochet into the same stitch. And then into the next 2 stitches I am going to place just 1 single crochet. So the first and the second. And again I am going to repeat. So here it will be my increase. So 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, like this. And in the next 2 stitches it will be just simple 1 single crochet. And we are going to continue all the way till the end, and at the end we will have 32 stitches. Now at the end of row 4 we have 32 stitches, and what we are going to make as of row 5 till row 10, we are going to make just simple single crochet in each of the stitch. Every time needs to be 32 stitches. So I'm going to start with my first one. Always don't forget to mark it. So this is my first one, and I am going to just continue making 1 single crochet in each stitch from the row 5 till the row 10, and I am going to meet you at the row 10. So this is how your work should look like after row 10. So our head is almost done, and now in the row 11 we are going to decrease. So we are going to make 1 decrease and 2 single crochets afterwards, but we are going to make invisible decrease. What does it mean is that instead of going through both of the loops like we standardly do, we will take only the front loop of the stitch. So grabbing the yarn, front loop. And now I am not finishing my single crochet because this is a decrease, so I am going to the next stitch here, grabbing the front loop also, pulling the yarn. Now I have 3 loops on my hook and pulling through all 3 at the same time. This is also my first stitch, so I'm going to mark it. And now in the next 2 stitches, which is this one and this one, we are going to make simple single crochet through both of the loops. So the first one, and the second one. Now again we are going to place decrease, so we are going to grab the first loop, pull the yarn, not finishing, going into the next front loop only, pull the yarn. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, pull through all 3. And again in the next 2 stitches we are going to place 1 single crochet. So the first one and second one. And this way we are going to continue all the way till the end, and I will meet you at the end. Now at the row of 11, at the end of the row 11, we will have 24 stitches. Now with the row 12 we are going to decrease one more time. So we are going to make 1 decrease and 1 single crochet and switching it. So I'm starting with my decrease. Again, I am making invisible decrease, so grabbing only the front loop, pulling the yarn, going into the second, pulling the yarn, and pull the yarn through all 3. Highlight my first stitch. And now in the next stitch I am going to place just 1 single crochet, so here. Okay, good. And now again in the next stitch, 2 stitches, I am going to make decrease, so again grabbing the front loop part only, the first, keeping it, going into the second, front loop part only, grabbing it and pulling through all 3. So this is my decrease, and in the next stitch I am going to make single crochet. And I am going to continue all the way here till the end, and at the end we will have 16 stitches. Okay, now we have our 16 stitches, and now we are going to increase in each of the stitch. So we are going to place 2 single crochet in each of the stitch. So this is my first, and then in the same stitch we are going to place the same stitch, so decrease, and in the next stitch again increase. So we are going to make increases all the way through till the end, and at the end we will have 32 stitches. Okay, for the row 14 we are going to attach our hands that we made previously. Okay, so first of all in the row 14 we are going to make 7 single crochet. So in the 7 stitches, so this was my first, second, come on, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 7. And now what we are going to do is we are going to grab one of the hand, and now instead of going immediately to the stitch, we will be going into the hand. And now we need to be very careful. So basically we're making 6 single crochet all the time, right? So we are going to split it between 3 and 3. So into the first, you see this is the first part, and also into the second part you need to make sure that you are grabbing both of the parts. So make sure we are not missing anything. So this is the, let's say, the hand, okay? And now we are going to our next stitch, which is this one, pulling through my hook also through that. Now I have a lot of things on my hook. So I have my initial loop, then my hand loops and then my body loop, let's say. And now I am pulling through the yarn, all 3 of them, and finishing my single crochet. Now I am going to do it again, so this will be the second time. You need to do it 3 times. So this is the first, hoppala, through the first, and then you can see it. I will make this a bit bigger so I can show you properly. So this is the first and second, okay. Now going into my next stitch, which is this one, okay, and pulling through the yarn of all 3. And one more time through both this, here, and pulling the yarn and finishing. And now our hand is attached. Now we are going to make 12 single crochet. So here we need to be careful to not miss a step. So it means that this is our next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now I have 12 stitches, and now we are going to repeat with our second hand. So again, we are going into the always front and back part, always, to not miss it. Now going into the next stitch, grabbing the yarn and pulling through all and finishing my single. And I'm going to repeat it again. So going through the front and back into the second stitch, pulling through all 3 and grabbing the yarn, and the last one, pulling through. So it is this and here, and the last one, it is 3. Now I am going to finish with 7 single crochet, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we have 7, and the row 14 is done. Okay, now as of row 15 till row 20 we are just going to simply make single crochet in each stitch. Remember, we have 32 stitches together. So this was my first stitch, so simple single crochet all the way till the row 20. In these scenarios I always prefer to use a counter, so then I am not forgetting where I am, and I will meet you at the end of the row 20. Okay, so this is how your work should look like right now after row 20. Okay, so now actually we are going to start decrease, but if you want to let's say put your safety eyes, now is the best time to put your safety eyes. I am not going to put my safety eyes because I am at the end going to glue my own felt eyes, so that's why I am not, let's say, making anything now. So in case, here is the best time to place your safety eyes. And now we are going to continue with the row 21, where we are going to start decrease. So again we are going to make 1 invisible decrease and then 2 single crochet. So this is my first, so grabbing again only the front loop, going into the next stitch, grabbing only the front loop and pulling all 3 at the same time. So this was my first decrease. Now I am going to place 2 single crochet into the next, I'm going to place 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So the first stitch, grabbing the yarn and pulling through, and the second, grabbing and pulling through, and again invisible decrease, so grabbing only the front loop, pulling through, going into the next stitch, grabbing the first stitch only, the front loop only, sorry, pulling through, and now pull through all 3. Okay, and in the next 2 stitches I'm going to make again just simple single crochet, and this is for the whole row 21, and at the end we will have 24 stitches, and I'm going to meet you at the end. Okay, now for the row 22 we are going to make 1 decrease and 1 single crochet. So I am going to grab again the front part only, grabbing the yarn, going into the next stitch front part, front loop only, and I am going to pull through all 3. So this was my first decrease, and now in the next stitch I am going to make simple single crochet through both of the loops. Now again I am going to make a decrease, so again the front loop, grabbing the yarn, the second stitch, grabbing the yarn, and pull through all 3 loops, and in the next stitch only simple single crochet. And I am going to continue this way till the end of the row 22, and at the end I will have 26 stitches. At the end I will have 16 stitches. This is row 22, it will be 16 stitches at the end of the row 22, and I am going to meet you there. Now we are done with our row 22, and before we do our last row, we are going to fill the toy, because I think it's always better to fill the toy before you have really, let's say, a small hole in your toy. So grab your stuffing and fill your toy, fill your chicken very. I always prefer to put more more stuffing, because then it is very, squishable, huggable. So don't be afraid to put there more filling. It's always better that way. And I will meet you once your toy is filled and we can continue with the last row. Now the toy is filled. For me, body is not fully filled. I will fill it afterwards, so let's say partially, and then I will, let's say, refill it once I am completely done, because of course I need some space to continue on my last row. So the last row will be purely just decreases only. So again we are going to grab the front loop, grabbing the yarn, front loop, come on, grabbing the yarn and pulling through. And this way we are going to continue all the way till the end. Okay, so again another decrease. At the end you will have 8 stitches together, and I will show you how to close the hole. So I will meet you at the end of the last row. Okay, so now our toy is done. Well, partially done. I still need to, let's say, do some adjustment, but we have this kind of a hole. So now how to close it. So first of all, we are going to fasten off. We are going to leave a little bit longer tail, but it doesn't necessarily need to be too long, because we are not going to sew it or anything. So I am going to fasten off, grabbing the yarn and pulling through. And now, in order to close this hole, we are going to do is I'm going to grab my hook, and I am going into the next stitch, and I am going from out to inside and grabbing the yarn and pulling through. Now in the next stitch I am going to go the other direction, so I am grabbing from the outside to inside into the other stitch, again from inside to outside, and I will be switching it to all of them, so from outside to inside and from inside to outside till I am back in my first stitch. And now I am just closing it tightly to close the hole. Very good. So now my hole is closed. So now you can weave the end with the needle. I am lazy for the needle, so I am just grabbing the hook and pulling through the yarn here, and I will do it one more time here, so somewhere like this, and pulling through, cutting remaining. Okay, and our little chicken is done. But of course we need to, I will add now some, let's say, details to it. So concretely I will be making a felt eyes and probably also the nose. So yeah, I will show you afterwards once everything is glued on, and we'll show you the final result. And now that's it. So now you should have this beautiful chicken created. I have added felt eyes and embroidered the nose. In case you are interested for the felt eyes, I will leave the link in the description below. And in case you have enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give a thumbs up and leave a comment of what would you like to see me to crochet as a next. Until next time, happy crocheting!